Happening now, late Jamestown City Councilwoman Victoria James is laid to rest. Plus, what local theater is reopening their doors?
Well, if you like the weather today, we've got a little bit more of it on the way tomorrow and almost near record warmth to almost end the week. We'll talk about it next. The News at Noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The late City Councilwoman Victoria James will be laid to rest today. James passed away peacefully following what's believed to be a heart attack. A private family funeral service is taking place with a public live stream posted online. The 62-year-old's death was very sudden and shocking to many, but most of all to her family, who just last week lost their grandmother as well. James spent more than a decade serving the residents of Jamestown in both city and county government. She is survived by her husband, 2 children, 6 grandchildren, and 3 sisters. Memorials may be made to the Vicki James Fund, which is at Lakeshore Savings Bank. Well, New York State Senator George Borrello is calling out the state's budget for its unjustified rise in taxes. Borrello, who voted against the budget overnight, says the $212 billion bill has a crushing $4.3 billion in taxes on high earners and businesses. He says the increase is unjustified since the state's budget gap was filled with $12.5 billion in federal relief under the American Rescue Plan.
People are voting with their feet. We lead the nation, not migration. More people have left New York State than any other state in the nation in the last decade, and that's only going to accelerate. So you can try to frame this as, oh, we're only taxing the rich, we're only taxing corporations, but the reality is those are the people that are employing the people of New York State. And when you start talking about increasing tax franchise fees on companies that gross as little as $5 million, those are small businesses. This is not big corporations.
The final budget includes major legislative priorities, including billions for school aid and public and private green investments, for rent and homeowner relief, for child care, for excluded workers, and small business recovery. The budget also plans to expand the affordable broadband internet across the state, mobile sports betting, and nursing home reform. Well, moving up the deadline, President Joe Biden announcing all American adults will be eligible for coronavirus vaccines by April 19th. That's 2 weeks sooner than the original plan of May 1st. Biden laying out his administration's efforts at a record-breaking pace. Nadia Romero with the latest from Washington.
Hi, how are you?
At a Virginia vaccination site, President Joe Biden touting his administration's efforts to get more shots in arms sooner than promised.
I think if everyone continues down the road we're on now, it will be behind us, but it's not over yet.
The president pointing multiple reasons for the accelerated effort, including supply, mass vaccination sites, and an additional 23,000 pharmacies in the federal pharmacy vaccination program.
We are at a point with the supply we have available, the number of vaccines, vaccination sites, vaccinators, where we believe everybody in the country should be eligible, can get in line.
The U.S. now the first country to administer 150 million shots with a special emphasis on the most vulnerable. The announcement couldn't come sooner. A highly contagious COVID-19 variant first identified in the U.K. has now been reported in every state in the U.S., and experts are concerned spreading variants could send cases surging.
We have to ramp up a whole-of-government approach that rallies the whole country and puts us on a war footing to truly beat this virus.
All this while there are still concerns about the equitable distribution of the vaccine, with barriers to access for Black and Latino communities disproportionately affected by the virus. In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Nadia, thank you. Chautauqua County's Office for the Aging is partnering with a local pharmacy to help senior housing residents here in Jamestown access that COVID-19 vaccine. County officials say the help of Rite Aid and their staff, they've been holding targeted on-site clinics to boost availability for those 65 and older. Now, during a vaccination clinic last month, nearly 200 people living in downtown Jamestown, mostly residents of Covenant Manor, the Hotel Jamestown, and the high-rise buildings, were vaccinated. Rite Aid will return to Covenant Manor this Friday to provide residents with vaccines at the first clinic with their second dose. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of some local news headlines this half hour. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below, as we love to hear from you. It's great to see Rita. Good afternoon to Sandy. Hopefully you are having a good day as well. Good to see Pam, Butch, Jody, Holly, and John. Well, now let's get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us live in studio with that. In Dakota, it's another picture-perfect day out there.
Yes, it is. We've got a little bit more sunshine and temperatures are much warmer than where they were yesterday. And like I said, if you like today, I think you're really going to love tomorrow. 67 in Warren right now. Traffic okay over the Hickory Street Bridge on top of the Warren City Bank right there. Just a few of these little high clouds starting to move in across the southern tier. That's pretty much about it. The rest of the day should stay mainly dry, and but there's going to be some rain in the forecast coming our way for Friday, but yeah, we'll focus on that later. The pollen levels here, we're starting to get into the pollen season here, so obviously the tree pollen is going to be our biggest issue with elm and maple and jumpner, the biggest allergens as we stand right now. We made it to 70 here in town yesterday. I believe this is our first 70-degree high of the year, speaking of which. 48 was the low this morning. 80 and 9 are the record highs and lows for this day. So through the afternoon today, a great supply of sunshine, much warmer, and it's going to be cooler right at the Lake Erie waterfront because of this northeast-northwest wind. So 64 at the water to 76 while inland, and if you like that, we've got another day of it on the way tomorrow. Near record warmth tomorrow, plus some rain showers to end out the week. We'll talk about it in detail with that 42 degrees and sunny 7-day forecast later in the show. Justin.
All right, Dakota, we're loving this forecast. Just if you can, do whatever you got to do to thank the weather gods for, providing the warmth. Well, New York State leaders are looking to build a memorial thanking essential workers for their efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic. At a publicity event at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City yesterday, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced an Essential Workers Monument Advisory Committee. Cuomo says that commission will be charged with finding a location for and designating a memorial, thanking essential workers for their sacrifices throughout the pandemic.
And children years from now, when they say, "Why is mom gone? Why is dad gone?" they can be brought to that memorial. And they can be told the story of COVID and the COVID war and what courage is all about.
The Essential Worker Monument will recognize the 17 essential worker groups whose members continued their selfless service during the pandemic. Well, former Vice President Mike Pence has launched a new political advisory committee. It's called Advancing American Freedom. The group's goal is to promote the pro-freedom policies of the last 4 years, which Pence says are defending those policies from liberal attacks and media distortions, and to prevent the radical left from enacting their policy agenda that would threaten America's freedoms. The announcement included a lengthy list of Trump allies and former administration officials as well, including Kellyanne Conway, Kelly Craft, and Larry Kudlow. The group is based in Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, next here, a lot more to tell you about. New details about a fatal crash yesterday on Interstate 86. And later, movie lovers, listen up when a local theater is reopening their big screens today. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues on this sunny day.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Honest Jones has what you're looking for when you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. The 21-year-old man who died during a vehicle rollover crash on Interstate 86 in the town of Ellery yesterday afternoon has been identified. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office saying Joseph Zenko of Mayville succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. The man, deputies say, was traveling eastbound when his vehicle left the highway and struck the Westman Road Bridge embankment around 3 in the afternoon. The vehicle then rolled over and continued to travel up that embankment where it came to rest. First responders worked with the county's technical rescue team to gain access to the mangled wreck. A medical helicopter was called to a nearby golf course but never used. Crews remained on scene until 6 p.m., removing the vehicle from the hillside. Well, the price of some common household grocery items is now on the rise. Over the last 12 months, prices at popular local grocery stores have increased 3.5%. For a family of 4, that's around $500 a year. The increases are on everything from cereal to dairy to meats to eggs. General Mills, they're the maker of Cheerios, announced that it's raising its prices to offset higher freight manufacturing costs. Hormel is raising prices on products like Jenny O ground turkey because of higher grain costs, and even the costs of a jar of peanut butter and Jif is higher than it was 1 year ago. But experts say there are ways to keep your shopping costs low. They say to stock up and watch for those sales. They also say take a look at prices at some smaller stores as well. Well, we know there are many benefits to having a pet. Studies show animals can help their owners increase their exercise, lower stress levels, and decrease loneliness. But clinical trials involving dogs with cancer could improve treatments for humans too. Mandy Gaither explains in today's Health Minute.
At Ohio State University, researchers at the Blue Buffalo Veterinary Clinical Trials Office are working to help sick pets and potentially sick humans. Video of the research being done here was taken before the pandemic, but still continues today. Several trials are currently underway, including one involving the drug naratinib, FDA approved for the treatment of breast and lung cancer in humans. Researchers here say they've determined half of canine lung cancers carry the same gene mutations they do in humans. The treatment is given to dogs that already have cancer. Other cancer therapies are also being studied.
There also are some new chemotherapy drugs on the horizon that have shown some really interesting results in our dogs with, naturally occurring cancers that have, both relevance to treating our veterinary patients better, but also helping improve the treatment of people with the same types of cancers.
Dr. Sarah Moore says the research conducted in clinical trials is critical to fight cancer and other diseases in animals and humans.
The possibilities are really endless in terms of where things can go from here.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, Mandy, interesting. Thank you. Blue Buffalo Veterinarian Clinic Trials Office also treats pets with other diseases like diabetes even illnesses similar to ALS. Well, 2 of Chautauqua County's popular public parks are slated to open next month. Brad Bentley, he's the director of the county's Department of Public Facilities, tells us that the Lewinsman and Erlinson Overview Parks will open to the public on May 5th. Crews spent the morning today trimming trees at the Erlinson Overview Park on Oak Hill Road in the town of Carroll. Now, that park sits at an elevation of more than 2,000 feet above sea level and is the second highest elevation point in the county. It features a panoramic view of the surrounding countryside, including a bit of Chautauqua Lake, Onaville Valley, and the Allegheny Mountains. The Winsman Overview Park, which is on Thayer Road in the town of Portland, is situated at the top of Lake Erie's escarpment with a view of the lake, villages along the northern shore, and even some of the Canadian shore as well. Both parks will be open from 8:30 in the morning to dusk through November 1st. However, the restroom facilities will remain closed for now.
We're still keeping them closed for now, but we're keeping a close eye on the CDC guidance as new information comes out. We're really talking about commonly touched surfaces and making sure that COVID is not spread through those surfaces. If there's guidance that comes out that that's less of a concern, then we may look at doing some alternate arrangements up there.
Now, Bentley says reservations are required for any group gathering requiring use of a gazebo or any gathering over 20 people. Well, thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of some local news headlines. And too bad the parks aren't opening immediately because it really is pretty nice out there today. I'm sure a lot of people will be hitting some of the more local parks here in and around Jamestown. It's great to see Pam, good to see Willie, Diane, Kayla, and Julie as well. Hopefully you're all having a good day. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. Now let's get a full check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us with that. And I'm sure as we get closer and closer to May, Dakota, the weather will be getting nicer and nicer for people out there. But I know one big thing that we all look for is severe weather, which could start to tick up as we head through the spring and summer.
Yes, it is. And, we're getting closer to that severe weather season for us around here. It's generally around the late spring into the summer months. So wanted to start off with this. It is time once again for Storm Spotter training coming up this Saturday at 7 o'clock. It is the virtual online Storm Spotter training from the National Weather Service. And this is something we want to pound every single year because this is important here. We need more storm spotters. It's only spotters that can see down at the ground. Again, radar is a fantastic tool, and I don't think any forecaster would want to be without it, but it shows us what's happening above the ground, not what's at the ground. And it's only you guys that are at the ground that can see what's going on. And so we highly encourage this. So Saturday, April 10th at 7 p.m., you can sign up and online at the Weather Service from Buffalo. You can go to weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn to sign up for that. It's free to attend, all ages from 8 until 88. So today we have a very interesting weather setup in the fact that we have winds coming off Lake Erie today. So wanted to explain this. So as you get inland today, you're going to see the warmest air. So downtown Jamestown, we're likely going to see the lower 70s today. But if you go back further to the west, the Lake Erie shoreline is going to stay cooler because look at the Lake Erie water temperature. 39 off the coast of Buffalo at the harbor station. And when you see all these cold air coming in across Lake Erie, that's ultimately going to keep the Lake Erie lakeshore a little bit cooler. And you'll see it on the zone forecast here. The winds are a little bit lighter today, so the lake breeze is going to be weak. So the cooler temperatures is going to be right at the immediate Lake Erie shoreline. See around 67 around Erie, 64 around Harbor Creek with that cold Lake Erie water temperature of 36. Now compare that to the inland areas where the lake breeze is really going to die out. The inland areas really could spike up into the mid to upper 70s in some spots, especially Warren County, which is often one of the warmer spots in the area, could likely see upper 70s. But if you liked it today, look at tomorrow. Future scan forecast temperatures by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. 78 here in town, 75 Randolph, how about an 80? Dunkirk, also in Gowanda, maybe an 81 over in Erie. I'm not going to rule out the chance for an 80 somewhere around the southern tier, but it's going to be very warm with temperatures mid to upper 70s and close to that 80-degree mark in some spots. Got a pair of 6s at the Jamestown Airport right now as a noon hour. Northeast wind of 7, so the wind relatively light. So again, that Lake Erie breeze is not going to move too farther inland, so that's the reason why it's going to stay cooler right at the lakeshore today. We still have the stationary front that only budged just a little bit farther to the north, so the cold air and the warm air are fighting together. That's part of the reason why it's a little bit warmer right now. High pressure ridge set up just to the south and north of it. This is the storm system that's going to track to our northwest on Friday. That will bring us the chance for some rain showers through the day on Friday. 47 to 55 tonight, partly cloudy and dry, but it will remain comfortable. The humidity, not really a big deal with that southwest wind. Next 7 days coming up right now, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, 78 tomorrow. The record is 83, set in 1991. Don't think we'll hit it, but we're going to come close. Scattered showers on Friday, only a 35% chance. Saturday should stay mainly dry around 71. Better chance for rain on Sunday, and the temperatures actually moderate a little bit going into early next week. We will stay in the lower 60s. Why don't we take a break and be right back?
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Finally here today. If you've been craving that movie theater popcorn, well, we got some great news for you. The Regina Center for the Arts is resuming their Movies at the Reg series this week. As WNY News Now's Claire Galt explains, the first showing, which is a matinee, will play The Croods, A New Age, today. Do we have Claire?
Even though it's a limited capacity, it's tremendous to be able to do this. Not patting ourselves on the shoulder, just to open the doors, just to see folks again, to do this together.
That's Len Berry, the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Regina Center for the Arts, who says the theater has taken many measures to follow COVID protocols, such as blocking off every other row and creating pods where friends and families can sit. He says they are also encouraging people to buy their tickets ahead of time online to encourage social distancing.
We're just trying to reopen under the new guidelines and test out the waters for our community and get our patrons comfortable with coming back to the Reg.
The theater will carry new flicks as well as classic films on anniversaries or special occasions.
But it just so happens to be a time where we can show all but one of the Best Picture nominated films from the Academy Awards, and we're working on getting that last one onto our schedule. So that's a tradition we've had here the past few years, is showing as many, if not all, of the Best Picture nominated films, and then maybe the Best Foreign Picture winner in some of the performance categories, and that's a very popular time of the movie-going season for us.
The Reg will also be using the facility to benefit nonprofit organizations.
If something in one of our films thematically ties in with a nonprofit organization or group, we'd like to offer our lobby space to them to have their materials out and to talk to patrons about what they do.
Barry says he knows, however, that some people don't feel comfortable coming to movie theaters yet, and he doesn't want to stigmatize those people.
We want to say we're ready for you when you're ready to come in.
This is the first large-scale production the Reg has held since the COVID-19 shutdown last year, after the state recently updated their guidelines for theater venues. Claire Galt, WNY News Now.
All right, Claire, thank you. To see the full lineup, visit regilene.com/movies. Certainly super exciting. I'm ready, Dakota, to get back to the big screen, and I know that the Dipsons haven't reopened yet, but movies at the Reg really gives you a much different experience. It's really hard, I think, to compare the two because it's not a traditional movie theater. I mean, it's got so much history with its live venue performances that take place, and to bring down the big screen there that they have, and then the popcorn, the snacks, and it's a nice, safe way, I think. They really, it looks like, have a great package together to keep people safe and entertained at the same time. I'm excited to go check it out in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll admit, I haven't been to a movie theater in years, but I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think a lot of people in my generation go to movie theaters a lot.
Yeah.
Just because we can stream it on the TV.
Right. It's such a battle with Netflix and other. I mean, you can rent a movie on your TV, and I think new releases have been doing that.
You see, in terms of movie theaters, at least, it's a battle between ticket prices and food prices.
Right.
And
see, I've always been a really big fan. Like, I just like it. I like to go to the movies. The popcorn tastes different than what I have at home, and I'm a huge popcorn fan. And, the drinks and the snacks, I mean, I'm just a snacky, I guess. But it's like,
Justin, get those munchies,
Right, but it's just like the fun of going there and hearing it on the big surround and being in the screen and sitting in the chairs. You can't beat it.
You see,
I love the Malls theater. That's one of my favorite ones. I hope that reopens.
You see, a lot of people love the theater until you A, sit next to the person who doesn't shut up for the entire movie, or B, you sit behind a kid who keeps kicking your seat.
Yeah, no. See, and that's
you hate the theater.
I think that's the beautiful thing about Chautauqua County. I know we had PJ Wendell on a couple weeks ago talking, or months now, but when he was talking about the push to reopen theaters, he's like, I've never been to a major screening in the county where there wasn't people separated, and I think that's just the demand of it. He said he's had private screenings, and I've been attested to this. If you go a certain time, you might be the only one in there, and it's not by mistake. It's just how it happens. And I think that's the beauty of living in a more rural area, is that we can spread out. And
I mean, I remember my dad talking about when the Winter Garden used to be here in downtown Jamestown.
Yeah,
here on
that's a
3rd
long
Street.
time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. We're talking like the Stone Age here. And so, my dad used to go to the Winter Garden because I think they used to show Grease when the movie Grease came out.
Yeah.
That's my dad's all-time favorite movie and musical. So, he would sit and watch the matinee of Grease, and sometimes it would just only be him and maybe just a couple other people in the theater.
Right. Yeah. So I hope that they can. It's great to see that the Reg is reopened for that, and I hope some of the other theaters are able to get back open too. I think it'll be great, and I look forward to grabbing a movie down there. So they have, again, the website. If you head over to Reggie Linnae's page, they have a full list of all the flicks that they'll be having in the coming weeks. Well, that's going to do it for the news today. Of course, we are back tomorrow with our Thursday edition right here live at noon. We'll leave you with a look over downtown Jamestown. If you can, get out and enjoy the sunshine today. If you don't get a chance, though, it's okay, because Dakota has great news in his 7-day forecast.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be wonderful, wonderful. We are back tomorrow. Have a good day.